hey guys, we need a place where we can manage crypto for our clients. Can you build something?
Which coins should I buy right now?
There has been huge inflow into Bitcoin spot ETFs. Now people who are not such experts, they're slowly entering and they don't buy Nvidia or Apple or something like that.
What do you think of MiCA regulation?
It's a regulation written by banks for banks.
And where to meet the investor?
We're raising around 2 million and 1/3 is already committed.
Hi everyone and welcome back to HodlFM podcast. This is the place where we discuss crypto insights, crypto news and crypto trends. And today our guest is Stevan Radonjanin, the CEO at Veli. Thank you for joining us, Stevan.
Great pronunciation of my last name.
I was training for this. Tell us a little bit about your product, what you guys are building and what you're working on.
Sure. Maybe just very briefly, we have a couple of products. We started initially with a platform for end users, a mobile app where they can buy kind of similar to how whales are buying. So buy when prices are low, sell when prices are roughly high, and so on. In the meantime, we built a platform for wealth managers, basically a small extension to our mobile app, a web platform where wealth managers can see all their clients and manage their portfolios. And on that platform, besides buying just single coins like Bitcoin, Ether, etc., wealth managers and their users can buy also crypto indexes, or we call them crypto strategies, where basically with one click you buy 10 different coins. And then the strategy rebalances every month automatically. What we are now doing is basically we have extracted those crypto indexes and we have an API that offers other investment platforms the possibility to integrate crypto indices in there. So a couple of things.
This is really interesting. And how did you come up with the idea? Was it you who was the initial idea creator, or did you have someone else on your team?
So for the first product, basically the mobile app, it was me. Back when I was working for CryptoMud, one VC approached me and they asked me if I have some idea. And I already had the idea because I saw that small investors were getting slashed left and right, like that every bull market, they're buying near the top. And then when the market drops 70%, they lose money. So I said, okay, let's try to build something where in an automated way, they can invest smartly. Then for the wealth management platform, it actually came from our investors. We got as an investor a VC and their main LP was the largest Slovenian wealth management company. So they asked us, hey guys, we need a place where we can manage crypto for our clients. Can you build something? So we said, of course, rolled our sleeves and built it quickly. And then for this API, how it came, it's an interesting story. My co-founder Marco and I, we were at Web Summit and then we were approached by Christian. He was the CEO of a large crypto broker. He asked us, hey guys, I really like your crypto indices. How can I have this on my platform? So we had an idea how to do it. I've previously implemented it, this product at Bitpanda. I've implemented it at CryptoMud and then at Veli. And every time it was really successful product. We had, I think, more than 80% of the revenue coming from crypto indices. So we said, okay, with that knowledge, we need to somehow build it in a way that it benefits the brokers. So from Bitpanda time, I knew that it shouldn't be too expensive because certain index providers charge a hell of a lot per month per index. And then from CryptoMat times, I knew that the platforms, they don't want their users leaving and going to another platform, but everything needs to stay on their platform, like the execution, custody and so on. So with all that knowledge, we basically built this API and already have first client secured.
Really nice, really cool. And what about the end user? So as an end user, for example, I just download your app and you tell me when to buy high and sell low, or do you do it for me in just like a broker with indexes, or how does it work from the inside?
So it's an automated system. Basically, you have a regular app that you would download and deposit funds there and so on. And then you have those crypto indexes. And we have two types of indices. First is passive, which basically move up and down with the market. And then we have the second one, which is called smart indexes or smart strategies, where we attempt exactly that, to help people buy when prices are low and sell a little bit every month towards the top, so that when the market drops 70-80%, they are more or less out of the market and don't experience this drop as much. So that we have achieved through a combination of certain indicators, both, let's say, related to Bitcoin halving dates, but also related to certain on-chain indicators. We tested over 100 indicators and chose a combination that we believe is the best. And actually, so far, it has proved quite good because it started buying, I think, November 2022 over a course of several months. So that time Bitcoin, I think, was like at 16K. So then it got like really good average entry price. And now it's already selling a little bit. So, it's locking in quite nice profit.
Oh, really cool. And if I want to start as a user, do I need to invest some fixed particular amount? Is there any threshold that you guys start working with?
On the mobile app, you can invest with as little as 50 euros. And what we observed that some users still prefer human touch. So that's why we introduce those wealth managers or financial advisors that can actually do everything for you. So even if you don't know which strategy to choose, what to invest into, then you have a real person and he helps you navigate the crypto landscape.
But financial advisors are also using your strategy, right?
Yeah, exactly. So most of them have invested in the strategies rather than single coins. And the reason is on the stock market, they typically don't do, top picking. Like they don't buy like, Nvidia or Apple or something like that. They buy like, I don't know, ETF that tracks the S&P 500 or DAX or whatever. And similarly in crypto, they need a structured product like something where you can, because they don't want to make bets on certain coins. Like they're not experts on, analyzing every coin and so on. They rather say, okay, I like this category of the market, or I like the, top 10 coins in the market or something like that by market cap. So I can invest with one click into this and I can see how it compared to Bitcoin performance over the past years or S&P 500 or gold or whatever. And they basically look at the risk, the returns, the volatility, drawdowns, all of that, and, compare it as any different investment that they would do.
Cool. That's really cool. So basically you're doing all the analysis jobs, all the market insights that you guys analyze and put it all together in a single index, so to say, right? Or a strategy,
exactly.
if I can say so. And then I have a question to you as to a person who is like a pro in the crypto market analysis. Which coins should I buy right now? It's probably included in your strategy.
I'm not allowed to share such thing because I'm not a financial advisor per se and so on. But I would be happy to introduce you to some of the wealth managers that are on our platform, and they can help you out with that.
Okay, that's a very diplomatic answer,
I can tell you about some coins that I like maybe after the podcast, but I'm not allowed on the podcast to make any recommendations.
Oh, okay. And as for the crypto market right now, what is your opinion? Where are we at? You mentioned the cycles and halving, and as we can see, even after 2012, we can observe some particular cycles that are happening like 1 year or 1.5 years after halving occurs. What do you think right now? Where are we at in terms of prices, in terms of generally the market situation?
I would say we are in the second half of the cycle. So typically you have roughly 2 years of growth, 2 years of decline, not exactly, but let's say on average. And typically the growth starts like roughly 1 year before the halving in some kind of anticipation of the halving event. And then 1 year afterwards, it continues growing. It can be 1 year, it can be 1.5. It really depends. I feel by the end of this year, we will have again period of decline. When exactly will it happen? Nobody knows. That's why we're selling a little bit towards the end of the cycle. You can see that basically from 16K for Bitcoin at the beginning of the cycle, now it's like 106K, something like that. So we have already achieved significant growth for Bitcoin. Altcoins, this cycle is slightly different from previous cycles because institutional investors have entered and there has been huge inflow into Bitcoin spot ETFs. So we have not yet observed like this crazy altcoin season that we had in the previous cycles. Whether it will come, everyone in the crypto market is still hoping for it, but let's see. I feel like now it's like a completely different game when institutions have entered.
Probably it might be so that because institutions have actually changed the way the cycle looks as well, because I think that Bitcoin will stop being as volatile as it used to be because of the institutions. More retail is flowing in as well because crypto is becoming more trustworthy, if you can say so. I think that meme coins were a big thing right
Exactly. Okay.
I mean, in terms of like this craze which was happening around them, because it was something like similar to the ice, to all of the other things that were previously. But you think that altcoins are not going to achieve the top, are not going to follow the Bitcoin?
I mean, some already did, some not. Some still have some room to grow from the previous cycle, such as Ethereum, but I cannot say for sure. I think nobody can. I would assume that they will reach some new all-time highs, but I think the retail has seen that the largest alt cannot deliver such crazy returns like they could when the market capitalization was smaller. So I think they're more drawn to some smaller cap coins and meme coins and things like that can deliver those crazy returns. So that's at least my observation for this cycle.
And what do you think about the current trends in the crypto world? I mean, there was gaming, GameFi, metaverses, and all of these things. We also had ICOs. What do you think is the most popular thing which is being built right now?
Exactly. I mean, we had every cycle certain category that would perform better than others. In the past, it was whatever, layer ones, layer twos, DeFi, I don't know, meme coins, and at some point NFTs, etc. I think this cycle is dominated by RWA coins, so basically tokenized real world assets, by DePIN category and a couple of others. So I think those are the exciting ones. Of course, everything related to AI. So the AI craze is to me so funny, because like yesterday everyone on LinkedIn was crypto expert. When AI came, everyone became AI experts. But yeah, AI related coins are performing well. What will happen, let's say, in the next cycle, we will see. But meme coins seem to be like a constant, like also in the previous cycle and in this one, they were performing well. And basically part of the reason why we are doing these crypto indices is because people don't know, let's say in certain category, which project is good, which one is not. But if the whole category is performing well, then, maybe it makes sense to get an index, because maybe you're not sure, hey, should I take, like 15 coin in that category or the first one or whatever? We would construct an index which basically takes the top 5 or top 10 coins. So even if one is not delivering, it's getting out of the index and new one is entering to replace it. So you always have the most up-to-date coins from that category, and then you can basically ride the wave. And this has proved to be a good strategy in the past, basically following certain trend that is performing well in this cycle.
And how do you choose coins for to depict in the one of your strategies? Is it like, do you have like more classical coins, less like, more known like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana, or do you also have some degen indexes where you include also like these crazy meme coins and stuff, which is really, really volatile and can go very soon?
So briefly, the reason why we started creating those crypto indices was to help the small guys, and we did not want them to gamble. We wanted to, when you look at kind of the crypto adoption curve, like those that were super tech geeks that were willing to, do liquidity mining, that were willing to trade on exchanges, like create bots and stuff like that. I think the time of those guys not has passed, but like, those guys have already entered. And now people who are not such experts, they don't want to read so much about crypto, they're slowly entering. And what we try to do is create some kind of products that are more sound investments, or that they would not lose like 95% of what they invested. So we went with top 10, top 20 coins, and among them we created some indices. And also for wealth managers, they're also not comfortable putting their clients' money into some super small coins. With that being said, most of our indices are like that are on Veli platform. But for other platforms that are more retail oriented, and they also have those type of users that are looking to get a little bit higher returns, we are creating indices for certain category, as you said, like meme coin index or, RWA index and things like that.
Okay, that's really interesting. And what about the listing of coins? Do you guys list coins on your exchange, or where do you get them?
We're not an exchange. We're basically a brokerage platform, kind of like Coinbase, like Bitpanda and so on. So basically what brokers, I don't know if your listeners know the difference between broker for an exchange, but basically on an exchange, we have users which are trading against themselves, and the platform is just facilitating those trades. And when it comes to brokers, basically you're buying from the broker, which is kind of fixing the price for a certain period of time, and you get a guaranteed price at which you're buying. And basically when you buy, you're buying from the broker, but broker goes on an exchange and hedges there. So from that perspective, we cannot list coins. Basically our liquidity provider, so basically exchanges in which we're plugged, when they list a new coin, we can add it. But if it's not available there, we cannot have it. But we have currently over 300 coins, so I think like our users are quite satisfied with the offerings. When there is something new that, you know, people are jumping on, we try to list it fast if it's available on our liquidity provider.
If you're talking about your users, where are your users from? In which countries do you operate?
So users on our platform are predominantly from Slovenia, but we have also from certain other EU countries. When it comes to this API that we have created for crypto indexes, we can serve, you know, exchanges and brokers from all over the world. We already have some from Europe that we are onboarding, but we have good talks with some from Asia, US, etc.
And Europe right now, last year they released MiCA regulation. What do you think of MiCA regulation? Is it actually helping Europe in terms of crypto adoption, or is it making it much slower? And what is your opinion generally about the current law?
I would say it's a regulation written by banks for banks. So basically, I feel like banks have helped write this regulation so that mostly banks can fulfill the requirements. I feel that it's making it more difficult for certain smaller players to fulfill the requirements. So there will be some consolidation on the market. Basically, smaller players will get acquired by larger ones. The reason why I dislike the fact that basically banks will be among the only ones to provide crypto is the reason that the original idea of crypto was not for banks to do crypto, but basically to create a system that is kind of not relying on the banking rails, etc. So from that perspective, it's not ideal. But on the other hand, it has also certain good things. Like I think we will prevent a lot of scams that were happening in the past. For example, when FTX happened, I don't know, the FTX collapse, the crypto exchange. I don't know if you know, but FTX has a subsidiary in Japan. And that subsidiary, basically Japanese regulator already back in the day had ruled that you need to separate the company funds from the customer funds. And FTX Japan users got all their money back. So that's something that basically, even if the company fails, like, you know, the exchange cannot touch customers' money and they need to have it, you know, separated and protected. So that's definitely a positive signal for the market. And we are seeing that institutional players are entering slowly the market. We're seeing also financial advisors, soon also wealth managers will enter. I don't know if you saw, but also Binance launched Binance Wealth. So, you know, like everyone is preparing for this influx of serious capital to the crypto market. So there are certain positive things as well, but it's basically imposing so many things like you're opening a bank, which on one hand I can understand. On the other hand, I feel like Europe will lag a little bit behind on innovation compared to certain other parts of the world. For example, the topic with USDT and them not being able to serve, to be listed on European exchanges, whereas in US they can, and you know, things like that. So yeah, it's on one hand blocking some innovation, on the other hand it's making the customers more safe. So, you know, there is a balance, and then basically every country / continent decides how they want to do it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. On one hand, this is a little bit too strict, and it doesn't help like the businesses to grow, because if you're talking about crypto, it's mostly the tech guys who are building something, and sometimes it explodes and it gets a lot of popularity in users, and sometimes it doesn't. But nobody thinks about regulations in the first place. And with MiCA, I think this is the thing that you have to consider before you start doing something, especially if it's related somehow to finance or like crypto side of things. And you say that you work with wealth managers. As far as I understand, you work with wealth managers in Europe. You hear a lot about states right now. Institutions in the United States, also in Asia, are being quite active, but you don't hear a lot about Europe. How is the situation in Europe? What is the institutional take on crypto right now? What is needed for institutions to start investing in crypto on behalf of their clients. Can you tell us more about this?
Sure. Briefly, on the side of financial advisors and wealth management companies, until end of the year, we were seeing influx of new players or new wealth managers, financial advisors that were entering crypto. I would say wealth managers are slightly more conservative than financial advisors, so it will take them a little bit more time, and they needed some security like MiCA and certain other things. Financial advisors were more keen. MiCA has now slightly slowed down the influx of these players, because it's not anymore that the platforms need to have the licenses, but also the financial advisors and wealth managers need to have their own license to be able to manage the client's crypto. When it comes to banks, so we were approached by multiple banks that want us to white label our platform and offering to them, especially private banks, because retail banks, for them, there are certain white label providers that where the bank itself by API can just buy crypto. But private bankers need platforms like ours, where the private banker can see just his clients, manage their portfolio, and potentially also invest in some kind of index product, etc. So when we discussed with banks and also some consulting companies that have connections with banks, they told us that there are still a couple of missing pieces. One is the education. So a lot of them want to include crypto in their clients' portfolio, but the private bankers still need to learn a bit more to get to a level where they're comfortable doing it for clients. They may be doing it personally, but like not yet for clients. And then second thing is they need some kind of valuation methods for crypto. What I mean by that is on the stock or bond market, like you have certain methodologies, like for the bonds, like how much are the coupons, you can do like discounted cash flow and have some rough idea of where the price of the bond should be. For crypto markets, there isn't like a unified methodology to price the coins. Like there are a gazillion different types of tokens and methodologies and so on, but there isn't like an established thing that the whole market is following. And then when the private banker, let's say, when he buys a bond, he's able to justify why he bought it and show, the methodology behind it and where he believes the price will go and etc. When he does it for crypto, there isn't like a unified methodology that he can say, okay, I follow this, my hands are clean. So I feel like that's part of the maturing of the market, and we will see more of such things being developed, and all of that will slowly get us to basically mass adoption. What is helping is the exchange traded products, because that's enabling the financial advisors, wealth managers to buy through their regular brokerage account. But there you can see just, Bitcoin ETF or something like that. I feel like once the market matures and there are more of these individual ETFs, then we'll probably see some kind of index ETF, and that will also help with the adoption.
Okay, thank you. Really interesting opinion. I hope it will be like this. And as far as I know, you guys in Veli are raising funds, or you were raising funds for quite a while. As far as I know, you have a really good experience in terms of fundraising. And I think that this is very interesting for all builders, or for all people who are right now trying to secure some funds to build their product. Maybe you can share a piece of advice, how you did it, how to make it successful, and where to meet the investor, which is also very important.
Okay. How long of a answer you want on that? Because I can talk about fundraising for ages.
Just real quick.
Okay. Real quick, I would say the timing is quite crucial. So when we started the fundraise, basically we already had an offer on the table from one VC to invest $500,000, and then we rejected it. We decided to invest our own capital, and then we thought, okay, we can raise with the token much more. Back in 2022, everyone was raising millions with a token just on an idea. Then when the FTX crash happened, nobody was able to raise anything. So then we had like 2 years of painful attempts to raise, basically going to Dubai, here, there, like meeting investors. But if nobody is investing, like what you can do is just roll up your sleeves and go out there and build a product, get some traction, and then fundraise. We had 450K in revenue last year, so that's definitely helping now, and it's easier to fundraise. But in the pre-seed round, it was like a process where first we raised a little bit from family and friends, then we started pitching to groups of angels. Then when you get an investment from one group, then they talk to the neighboring countries, then they connect you to that group of angels, then to the next group of angels, and so on. And then once you have like a couple of groups of angels, then the first, second VC comes along. So that all helps, and then they basically share a good story about you guys, and then it gets easier. What we were doing is something that I would recommend every startup, and that is to say in your investor updates what you will do and then deliver that, and then say, in 2-3 months we will do this, then deliver that, and that kind of builds the confidence for investors. And what we have is a link where you can go and read all our investor updates since we started, and basically you can see that things were progressing well. So that kind of de-risks the investor. When it comes to the current fundraise, we're raising around 2 million, and 1/3 is already committed. We're currently in 3 accelerators, so those accelerators are either investing or giving some kind of matching grants, like 300K. So when you raise 300K, you get another 300K equity free. And then we collected some funds from investors like angel groups, VCs, etc. And then what we want to do is, like, on this new revenue stream, basically this API for indexes, get a couple more clients and then go and find a lead investor and close the round. So that's kind of our experience.
Really cool. I think we need a separate session for that, because investing and getting investments into your products is a very interesting topic, and I think it's a very important topic, and you can get hardly any information on it. Like practical information, not the one you just read online. I think it's time for us to wrap it up. Thanks a lot, Stevan, for finding time to join us. It was a really nice session, and I hope to see you soon in the future. Thank you.
Yes, likewise. All right. Thank you so much, Tanya. Bye-bye.
Bye.